in America, we buy a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. And you said that some of the happiest people you've ever seen in your day have just been the poorest people that didn't have a lot of stuff going on in their life. And I think that, what I've seen is that Americans consume a lot of stuff. I'm not saying I'm a minimalist, but I definitely gravitate towards being a minimalist, not needing the fancy stuff to fulfill your life. Like it's actually scientifically proven to be a sugar high. Oh, I want to get this. I want to get this. And 3 days later, you're super excited to get a new pair of shoes or a new bag or a new whatever. And 3 days later, scientifically, your emotions or endorphins
that's what I mean.
go down.
It's like we look at like Bushido, right? Masashi said, we look at the externals to allow us to feel something internally, right? And wealth is one of them, right? Materialistic items is another one. Look, that's an American thing.
Exactly.
Okay, that's an American thing. We're
not credit card.
We're not going to change that. Okay.
Well, we're not. I don't know if we're going to change the entire culture, but this is where you have to look inside yourself and look in the mirror and say, do I really need this? Is buying more stuff really what I'm looking for in life? I get it. People need the basics. People need milk. People need, gas in this case.
No, I disagree.
All the consumerism.
But also the shortage is because the gas prices are going through the roof.
Yeah.
The shortage on truck workers and the mandates. You know? So I feel like that's closing down the supply chain as well.
These are two different issues here, what you're saying.
Right.
Okay, so let's just say what you're saying is save that money. Fine.
Well, I'm just saying that there's a flip side to the supply chain stuff. It's that how much stuff do you need? We talk about they're canceling Christmas,
but
so you're not getting 20 Christmas presents.
Totally
You're
get that.
getting
But
one.
that's a question to say how rich is good, how rich is rich. Like, so if you live in America, the reason why you love America is because the person has the freedom to choose. Okay, America was founded on 4 different things: freedom to choose, freedom to buy, freedom to sell, freedom to fail, freedom to try. Buy, sell, try, fail. It's up to you. Go for it. It's capitalism. Do what you got to do. You want to buy it? Buy it. You don't want to buy it? Don't buy it. It's totally up to you. This is not a philosophical conversation here about this. This is about why the hell do we have these shortages? One is saying we're buying too much. The other is saying, oh, it's because 100 ships are sitting out there, we can't get it out. People don't want to come in here and work and take that stuff off. 10,000 containers that you're talking about, the biggest one, they got 23 of these ships are the biggest ships. You got Jen Psaki, who comes out yesterday saying, when asked about Biden's supply chain crisis, Psaki cracks a joke at the expense of Americans. This is a post-millennial story. She says, it was clear in March of 2020 when COVID hit that the supply chain across the world had been disrupted. Even as a sort of work to fight back against COVID proceeded, it was crystal clear that things were not improving on supply chain. People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So why did the tragedy of the treadmills that's delayed, she talks about and joking about it, during the pandemic, many gyms were closed, et cetera, et cetera. So, this is about this Christmas. People are not going to get stuff on time, and they're preparing everybody. Don't expect your gifts to show up on time. Why is this happening? America's not going to change their habits overnight. That takes a generation or two to do. But this concern here, you got a capitalistic society who's accustomed to getting products being delivered on time. Now they're not.
Yeah, this isn't philosophy. This is mismanagement. Philosophically, you want to talk about minimalism.
It's a different conversation.
But this is mismanagement.
I agree.
Yeah, like this is,
But this isn't just America. This is a global supply issue. It's not like this is immune to America.
Yeah,
only in America we're having this problem.
It's crazy. It's almost like it's coordinated. I know, it's crazy. It's almost like we'll know nothing and be happy.
Right, because the entire world's been dealing with a pandemic.
Poorly too. So listen, the LA in particular, there's the regulations are what are shutting down the LA right now. It's government that's causing a 6-month backlog. It's not the pandemic; it's the government response to the pandemic.
Well, it's also a lack of workers we discussed,
which is due to the government response to the pandemic. Yep. This is it's very, very, very clear. There's not a backlog in Jacksonville right now. One of the biggest ports on the East Coast. Is there a 6-month backlog? Is the supply chain broken? And in the
so you're saying this is on Gavin Newsom?
It's on Gavin Newsom.
Okay.
It's on Bill de Blasio. It's on Andrew Cuomo. It's on people that are in control.
How's New York affecting LA? De Blasio,
This
and
is
Cuomo.
this is a literal nationwide logistics problem that we
You
have.
just said it was Jacksonville's fine.
Jacksonville's
LA's the problem.
Jacksonville's fine. You can look at where the backlog is. There's a backlog in New York Harbor. There's a backlog in Elizabeth. There's a backlog. The LA backlog is asinine. It's like 6 months behind right now. It's actually cheaper for a lot of these ships to redirect from the Pacific, go through the freaking Panama Canal, and then come to the East Coast. They will unload quicker than waiting in port in LA. So
Freedom to try.
freedom to try, man. Listen, this is a logistics issue. Just this morning, there's a guy I had breakfast with at my condo, man. The guy sells Pepperidge Farm cookies. It's incredible how much money there is in cookies, man. $3.98 was where the cookies started this year. They're up to $4.17. He sells them wholesale. He said they'll be $5 by the end of the year. I mean, that doesn't seem like much. That's a 33% increase in 1 year just off of shipping. 33% on cookies. What's milk? What's things that need to be refrigerated? Cookies can stay on the shelf for 2 years. What are things that are perishable? I mean, it's going to go through the roof, man. We've only just begun to feel the pain.
No, I'm with you. Look, clearly, we need our stuff in America, especially if it's staple industry. But we talked about it takes generations to fix. Well, I'll flip it on you. There's somebody named Marie Kondo. You know who that is? Mm-hmm. Who basically said, goes to people's houses and says, "Does this spark joy to you? And if not, get rid of it."
Sure.
No matter what's going on with supply chain and macroeconomics and tariffs or whatever, at the end of the day, this comes down to how many fucking cookies do you actually need?
Okay.
How much extra stuff do you need?
I
get staples.
Adam, I'll put you on Front Street. I'll put you on Front Street then. Why do you live in Boca Raton for 3 times the amount of money it would cost you to go live out in Coral Springs? Right? Like we can go west in the swamps and live for $500. If it's about efficiency, how come you don't live out there? You can have
like where I live.
Yeah.
That's your choice, though.
That would be,
exactly.
That would be
but
seen
I have
as
the money to do it.
That would be seen as excessive. That would. Be
I don't
seen,
think that's excessive.
How dare you?
A place to live.
It's excessive as compared to buying a single wide out in the swamps, right? Like, I mean, if everything is about efficiency, if materialism
but
has
if
no
the
place,
world crumbled and I had to go live in a smaller place, I didn't have any money, I'd still be happy. Like, I get it. Like, supply. Like, I'm not gonna oh my God, I have to go and move into a smaller unit, buddy. I lived in a little shack in Dallas just to be a minimalist.
But you loved it.
Not really.
Yeah, you did.
But I did it because I wanted to be a part of Valuetainment, and that's what I was willing to do, to go through the struggle in this case. I mean, not that big of a deal, but that's what I was willing to do. But a part of me, I understand our supply chain. I get it. But cry me a river if your cookies are $1 more, bro.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.